We are here at PF International. It's Grand Prix Sunday here at the 2023 Kartmasters. I'm joined by someone who would usually be racing at this event, was hoping to race next year. Junior Rotax driver here supporting the Jack Dex racing team. Zac McDonald, you might recognise him from the Hungarian Grand Prix, where he was one of the 3 F1 juniors. Zac, congratulations on becoming part of that F1 juniors team on a fantastic first event. Just to tell us how it was to be over in Budapest for the Grand Prix.
I mean, it was brilliant. Obviously, it's my first F1 juniors ever. Got to see Lewis Hamilton, and before I got to see Sebastian Vettel. Got to walk down the paddock where the drivers are brushing your shoulders. It's just a brilliant experience to be within the paddock of F1.
And having watched, I know you said you started racing at Daytona when you were 6, and having watched F1 since then, maybe even before, I imagine going there and meeting the likes of Lewis Hamilton, getting to sit in his car, that must have been an amazing experience.
I mean, it was an amazing experience. Obviously, the Hamilton was the top of whatever I experienced there in Hungary, and yeah, I got to sit in his car. Yeah, I knew that the karters would be shouting at me if I didn't ask to go and sit in the car. So yeah, I got to sit with Lewis Hamilton. It was just brilliant.
So tell us how it felt when you got the news through that you were going to be part of the team. I mean, I imagine it must have been absolutely amazing to know you're going to be at the Grand Prix and not just there watching, but in the paddock working for Formula 1 and Sky Sports.
Well, I think the first memory I have of knowing that I got the role was my mum shouting at me, "Oh my gosh, Zac, can you believe it?" And I was just like, what? She wouldn't tell me. And then she just blurted it out, "You're part of F1 Juniors." And I was amazed. I was just so happy.
Yeah, and it was something that was enjoyed by fans all around the world, worldwide. A brand new project as well. It is, the first time we ever saw it in Formula 1. But getting to commentate on the races, present the F1 show, talk us through some of the memories that you walked away from that.
I mean, I think the funniest thing that I did was, I think I had a little... I said the wrong thing, I think. At one point I said I have a box fizz after every race, which I don't think is what they want to hear on live TV. But yeah, I mean, that was my favourite thing. And obviously I got to see George Russell and Zach Brown. Yeah. Also a Zach. That was the coolest thing.
And you got to go in with Stefano Domenicali as well into the broadcast centre?
Broadcast centre, and obviously all the screens just wide. It was just like, got to talk to the marshals on the track. It was really funny to talk to the Italian marshal as well.
And we were out there earlier here at PF watching the drivers come out onto the dummy grid. How is it being on an F1 grid? I've never personally been out on one. It's something that loads of people would love to do. I'm sure you want to do it as a driver one day, but tell us how it was seeing it from that perspective.
Well, to be honest, it's quite a similar experience. It's obviously they're both motorsport. Obviously, karting is way down from F1, but it's the same type of feeling. Drivers go out onto the grid with their mechanics, with their whole team, and everyone's cheering them on. So it is kind of similar, but yeah, obviously it's F1, the top of motorsport. And
you got to do all the presenting content and stuff, but I know you're a racer, getting ready to maybe go into British Championships, come to Kartmasters next year. Did you get any tips from any of the drivers at all? Did you pick anything up while you were there?
Actually, Lewis gave me a major tip. He said, go to the gym firstly. Okay. Not personally, but you should go to the gym as a driver. And he said stay in school. That's the main thing. Education was the most important thing, Lewis said.
Yeah, and so do you think you've left there with a lot of inspiration now and something you can apply to your karting career?
Well, it is obviously meeting Lewis Hamilton, 7-time champion of the world. It's going to be a great inspiration, but yeah, I can apply it to my karting. Hopefully this year, get some podiums later in the year, you never know. And obviously I'm going to try and aim to be here at Kartmasters next year and the British Kart Championships, so yeah.
Well, let's get into the karting. Zac is going to be out on the grid with me as well, which is going to be fantastic. You race for the Jack Dex racing team. Talk us a little bit through. This is a junior Rotax car, one of 3 that we have in here. So this is your teammates. Tell us a little bit about who we've got here and a little bit about the car.
Well, I think this is Rian Damadas's car. Unfortunately, I think he didn't quite make it through the repechage. But yeah, obviously a great driver. He looks a lot like me in the car, actually, with the white helmet and the blue suit. But yeah, obviously you've got Harry Hannum's car here, and that's absolutely brilliant. He's been doing brilliant this weekend. I think he's got the move of the weekend. It's a brilliant move. He's EBC brakes. That's why I made such a good move into the hairpin, first hairpin of the corner. Yeah, you can see his car. He's got quite a stiff seat. He's got a tillet seat, so I'd run a Jacko seat.
Okay.
I don't think anyone else here runs a Jacko seat, but yeah, Jacko seat's a lot more flexy.
Yeah,
And yeah.
Yeah, so, and obviously, this is what we're looking for. This is what you're getting all your data from as well. Junior Rotax engine. Quite powerful engines as well, aren't they? And a lot of data to look through as well.
Yeah. So I think they're pushing about 23 horsepower maximum. And yeah, so they pack quite a punch, especially at the mid-range. Obviously, the X30 at the bottom and the top is a lot more powerful, but the Rotax through the mid is very powerful. So reach up to 75 miles an hour, these cars, obviously. For people from 12 to 16, that's quite quick.
Yeah. Now tell us a little bit about where you've been. We'll come back round so we can see some of the other guys. Tell us, Zac, a little bit about what you've been racing in this season and where you've been racing, because we did catch some clips from the Alpha live streams at Wilton Mill. So yeah, tell us a little bit about your season so far.
So earlier in the season, right at the start of the season, hopefully this was going to be my year to be at the top in Minimax, but unfortunately MS UK decided to get rid of the class, and so I had to move up to Junior Max, which was quite a hard step. But my first race at Shenington, I managed to get a podium, and then from then on it's been quite a good run. I've been racing at Wilton Mill, as you said, got quite a few good qualifying sessions. The racing, I think, for me needs to get better, but yeah, raced at PFI only twice, and I know for the drivers that are at PFI, it's actually you have to be there a lot of times to really get into the groove and learn the track. And that's why the first time I came in, I qualified well, but then when you're racing, you have to relearn the track every time you come, so it's very hard to really go into PFI hoping for a good result when you've only been 2 times.
Yeah, we'll come back around this way a little bit, Zac, so we can see these guys in the background. You mentioned about PFI. It is really hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember when I raced, it was the one track when I did British Championships that team said you have to come and test before.
Well, you do. I mean, I've only been here for a test day in Minimax, actually. So the first time I came into this weekend, it was quick, but it was just daunting for me. It was like I'm coming to the best track in the UK with all the best British car champs drivers, and I had to go in for the first time in Junior Max, actually. So yeah, it's a great track. Hopefully for Kartmasters this year, provide some good racing.
And you've come here to watch, to cheer on the team. Obviously, you're doing a little bit with us as well. Mainly, I know you're here to support your teammates. How do we think the team are going to get on this weekend?
I mean, we've got 2 brilliant drivers here, 2 top of the British car champs level drivers. Harry Hannon from Dubai. I think his first week from Dubai, but yeah, Lizzie Mentier obviously here all the time, teammate, very good driver. So yeah, I'm really cheering them on. Hopefully for them top 10 in the rapid shot or in the pre-final and in the final. Yeah.
Are we going to get a GP plate on one of these? And are you going to be back next year to put one on your car to try and do so?
I'm not sure. I really do hope one of these 2 drivers can get the GP plate, but it's going to be hard for them. And obviously for me next year, it'll be hard to get the GP plate. But yeah, Kartmasters is the top event in the UK, the top event of the year. Everyone wants to be here, so I'll definitely be here next year.
Well, we've taken up the whole awning. As you can see, there's no one else in here, and I know Kartmasters is a very busy event. I'm sure the team want to get back in, get to work, and try and get some GP plates on this car. Zac, thank you very much. I will see you out on the grid later, where he will join me to open the show, and we'll do some grid walks as well. Make sure you catch all the action live on Alpha Live.